Christ.
I bet.
That's the most stressful thing ever when you want him to go to sleep, but he won't.
Yeah.
And he just fights you on everything.
So welcome to episode 16 of Up a Creek with Two Paddles. Having a few technical difficulties today. Jackson does not want to take a nap.
That mother trucker.
So there may be a couple interruptions. And also up front, I want to explain this is probably going to be a slightly shorter episode. We're going to try and make it at least 50 minutes. We'll see. We'll just play it by ear with how Jackson wants to act. And next week might also be a very short episode because Blake's going out of town. So we're going to try and record 2 episodes back to back today. But I don't even care if like I said, if the next week's episode's only 20 minutes, I'd rather have 20 minutes to post instead of having nothing to post. And then, maybe I can get down here later this week and we can make it happen again.
Yeah.
We'll see. But yeah, episode 16, man.
What the fuck is up?
I don't know. My mind is also a little scattered after Jackson not going to bed.
I know. Takes away all your good energy fighting a little youngster. God. So frustrating. I don't know, it's like you want him to sleep, but if he's got a shitty diaper, you can't. I feel so bad putting him to bed with a shitty diaper.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Like he was literally asleep with a shitty diaper. You can't just let him go to sleep.
I know that'd be very bad parenting.
Yeah, I know. But you want to
sleeping as shit.
You want him just to sleep there and shit, but you just can't let him do it. Damn it.
I mean, honestly, I'd probably have a hard time going to sleep if somebody just wiped my ass. I don't know. Maybe it'd feel good. Maybe it'd push you right to bed, dude.
I thought I was going to get away with it, dude. When I was wiping his butt, I was like, okay, he's still in the sleep zone. He's still kind of there. I might escape this.
I thought he was going it takes a lot of energy to cry like that. I thought he was going to just knock himself back out. But, I mean, he looked wide awake. I don't think that man's going back to bed.
When's the last time you shit your pants?
I don't know that I have an answer to that. I don't think I've ever shit my pants as an adult. I've had some close calls. I've been peeking on the way to the bathroom, but
right.
I don't think I can't remember the last time I had to throw out underwear. You know what I mean? That's a gross topic. I don't know. Nothing sticks out.
I'm trying to remember.
I've had to pee so bad that I've had some dribblage.
Oh yeah,
that's probably a once a week happenstance.
Dude, I hate when I put my dick back in my pants and then I tense it up and then a little bit of pee comes out and you're like, fuck. I know I'm just gonna have the fucking because you got too zealous. Maybe I got nervous. maybe I was standing at the stall and the guy beside me he was he was too close.
You got stage
and I just wanted to get out of there. No, I just wanted to get out of there. So I cut off the stream early as quick as I could. But didn't fully get everything out of my shaft.
I feel so vulnerable in the bathroom.
What do you mean?
My back is to everybody else in the bathroom. I don't think that I would ever be randomly attacked, but
that'd be the perfect time.
Random acts of violence happen all the time. If I'm at the urinal and somebody else is in the bathroom, I'm looking at the metal on the urinal to see the reflection of what's going on behind me.
And your wallet's probably in your back pocket.
Well, not me. I got a little baby wallet to keep it in the front.
You keep it in the front.
Dude, I love this wallet. It's a tiny little thing.
See, I had a wallet like that style for a long time, but my nana she went to Italy recently, and she got me this.
Genuine Italian leather.
I guess.
Perhaps.
But she got me that wallet, so I've been using this one. And I don't know. I kind of I like being able to have a bigger wallet that I could put more stuff in.
I like the bifolds like that you can actually fit cash in. But it's funny because this is technically also a bifold. But if I do cash, I just throw it in that little pocket. And I don't know. I agree. It's convenient to have a slightly bigger wallet, but I like my little tiny wallet.
I've been really thinking about a fucking maybe a fanny pack, something like that, something to hold phone, wallet, keys, knife. You know what I mean? I want something that I don't have to have because I hate having everything in my pockets.
See,
you know what I mean?
I'm pretty streamlined. I got a little wallet. My phone's with my job. My phone's usually out. I rarely have my phone in my pocket. Like, my phone's usually only ever in my pocket. I mean, if I'm shopping or something, but like during the transition periods. Like, once I'm in my car, my phone's not in my pocket. You know, it's sitting beside me playing music or a podcast or something. You know, if I'm at work, my phone's on the table because I use my phone for my job. So it's rarely in my pocket. Like, yeah, my phone's usually only in my pocket for transition periods.
You know what bag I really like a lot? The GT Sesh bag.
The like military style ones?
Yeah, it's like it's
Yeah, I
basically
like
like a
those a
fanny
lot.
pack, but a lot of those guys wear them as a shoulder,
Yeah.
like a little sling.
Barry tried to convince me to start wearing a fanny pack, and I was like, why? I have no use for my pockets are fine. Like, I don't have a need for a fanny pack. Like, what are you talking about?
Sometimes when I'm wearing shorts outside in the summer, like I take Jackson to the park or something, or
Yeah.
go on a walk, and I'm wearing shorts, like that's the only time I'm like, fuck. Like I don't want to carry all this in my hands. Like I got my phone, wallet, keys, knife,
Yeah.
whatever.
And I keep my keys strapped to my belt loop, so
yeah.
that kind of keeps.
That, yeah.
Yeah, that's a little nicer.
But you're not wearing pants 100% of the time. That's the issue. Like if you got pants, then
What do you mean?
like I said, sometimes I'm wearing shorts.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't have that problem because I don't wear shorts.
You wear shorts sometimes.
Yeah, but if I'm wearing shorts, I usually don't really
Yeah.
need my
You
wallet on me, or like the times I'm wearing shorts, I usually will have other like I'll either have a bag. Like if I'm wearing shorts, I'm either at a pool or I'm at the beach or by the river.
Right, you got a bag.
And I've got a bag or something. Like I'm rarely in shorts with everything I need to have in my pockets.
Right.
Yeah. So
Dude, the conversation
have
we
that
had
issue.
off camera was so much more interesting than
it
this
was we should get back on dreams. I did Google it, and it said a common misconception is that dreams only happen in REM sleep.
Yeah, so that just didn't feel right because like we were saying, you kind of when that dream state starts to hit you as you're
Right.
falling asleep. You're kind of dreaming.
Like as you're falling asleep, you kind of I was saying, like the hypnagogic jerk, which is like when you move, like your body hasn't fully paralyzed
Right.
itself yet, and then you move yourself back awake, like you were dreaming something. Like the common thing is like, I was dreaming I kicked a soccer ball and then I kicked my wife or whatever,
Right,
and kicked myself awake. Like so obviously you don't just dream in REM sleep.
Yeah, obviously.
But that's definitely, it has to be a common
But, like,
misconception.
so
And like you were saying,
often-
like dreaming during naps in like high school.
Right, exactly. You're sleeping for 20 minutes and 30 minutes and you have a dream. But like there's so often that I'm falling asleep
Yeah.
and like I'll be like, "Oh, wait, I'm falling asleep." And then you kind of like having a dream you're like, "That's not real." Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like that's what lets me know, like, oh, I'm about to fall asleep.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I'm there.
right.
you know.
When you lose control of your thoughts and you're just like
And you just start seeing movies.
seeing shit, yeah.
And then you're like, wake back up and like look at the TV. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm still here.
Man. Like, isn't it amazing that our bodies figured out a way to sneak us little psychedelics like every night? Like, it's just figured out the perfect
it's so
way.
Weird. Dreams are such a strange thing, man.
Like the slowest drip of DMT.
Yeah. Have you had any wild dreams lately that you can think of?
I have been dreaming more lately, but they've been more like long and drawn out dreams that I don't really remember. I did have one. God, it's so weird, like how they're there, but they're not.
and
When
they're
you try to
just-
think of them, they're just not there. I did have one recently that I have this one often, is that I'm on vacation with my dad's side of the family.
Yeah.
For some reason, I have that dream, like, and we're like maybe at the beach, and you know what I mean. Like I have just regular, I don't know. I haven't had any crazy dreams recently. I feel like.
Like I said, this like every other night, I dream that I just got a new truck, and I haven't talked about this on the podcast, but I wrecked my car pretty bad. Like, lucky to be alive bad, and I dream like every other night that I've wrecked my new truck, and I wake up in a panic, and it just terrifies me. I'm like, But no, other than that, I can't think of any wild dreams I've had recently. But that one is getting me like almost every night. I've dreamt that so much in the past 2 weeks, and it scares the hell out of me.
Damn, Hannah told me a dream recently that she had that was pretty intense, but I totally forgot what it was. It's like, fuck. I need to listen better.
Like, are dreams like just like, because I was saying I dream about wrecking my truck. Obviously, that just shows like the trauma I received from wrecking my car the way I did, and that's such an important thing. I guess my brain's trying to like process it or like remind me not to wreck my car, or like I don't like why. I know this is such an over discussed topic, but like the fuck are dreams, dude? Why? Why do we do that? Like that's such a big mystery of life. Are we the only creature? No, we can't be the only creature that dreams because dogs like they'll be running and like
Right.
growling in their sleep.
Yeah, no, we're definitely not.
Ah.
No, I mean, I think that one's kind of pretty obvious. Like it seems like, they're just a manifestation of these subconscious thoughts that we have all the time, but
Yeah.
we don't really allow to come to the forefront because of our daily task and our prefrontal cortex.
Perhaps.
Just, you know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
when we go to sleep at night, and our prefrontal cortex kind of like, all right, I'm taking a break,
Yeah.
right? And then those subconscious thoughts sort of come to the forefront
interesting.
of our consciousness. Like I think that's pretty much what it is.
Yeah, that's an interesting idea. That like just the filter is almost like taken away, and just our
Right.
brains just
it's
allowed
always,
to
always
do.
there. Those
Yeah.
things are always there.
That's interesting.
It's just that you don't allow yourself to drift off into that subconscious. It's hard
right.
to do that when you're awake. And maybe that, I don't know. Maybe do you think the DMT is what like turns off the prefrontal cortex, kind of like
I have
what
no
do you
clue.
you know what I mean?
I have
Like,
no clue.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Is
either.
that 100%?
The DMT in the brain?
Yeah.
I have no clue if we've nailed it down that it is dimethyltryptamine or whatever.
No, I mean, when 100% we have it in
We
our
have?
body. Yeah, yeah. But they were talking about whether it's produced in the
Slowed.
lungs or the
Oh.
pineal gland or
I have
the
no
thing.
fucking clue.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
I mean, do we know that that's what entices dreams?
it sure as fuck seems like it.
It does seem like it is such a psychedelic experience.
Right.
Or like, they say that releases to ease death. Isn't that another common theory?
Well, I think the not maybe not ease death, but maybe that's the right way to put
like-
it. There's a certain way that when your body is getting close to death, it releases this. Releases dimethyltryptamine to sort of like, like you said, maybe ease it, and maybe that's a lot or one of the reasons that old people as they're getting close to death, we all have that experience, or maybe not all of us, but a lot of us, I'm sure, have that experience of being around one of our loved ones passing away, like in the hospital or hospice or something, and they're like talking to people that have already passed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or like that. I feel like that's a very common thing.
I think it's pretty common. We talked about that last week. I think it's pretty common.
Did we?
Yeah. Because we were talking about like speaking in tongues, and we were talking about the afterlife. Maybe it was the week before, but we recently talked about that.
Oh yeah.
I had a thought on the way down here. This is changing the subject completely. What is the line we draw between a technological device and a robot? Is it some amount of autonomous action? Like you wouldn't think of your phone as a robot, right? In the traditional sense of what we think of as robots, but your phone's totally a robot. It does things, it's coded to do autonomously. Like, obviously there's things I use it for and I interface with it and I can dial a number or text somebody, but then like it collects data in all my apps and like lets me know what's going on and gives me notifications. Like that is a coded autonomous thing. But you don't think of a phone as a robot.
Well, I think of a robot as something that like makes physical change. Like it's a technological device.
Well, it's technically making physical change within this device. Digital storage is a physical change on a hard drive.
Yeah, okay, but
So that's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean.
Like a Roomba,
Right.
It has physical, not quantum,
Yeah.
not quantum physical changes, but
Well, my computer turns on its fans when it starts to overheat. That's just like the Roomba spinning its wheels.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So I don't know. It was just a random thought that hit me. Like, what's the line between a robot and just a technological device? Like, I don't think this mixer's a robot. It doesn't. Every single thing that the mixer can do, I have to tell it to do purposefully. It makes no decisions on its own. It's just like a medium for taking sound waves and putting them into a computer that can process them. It alone has no processing power. So that's not a robot. But my computer, I would say, in a way, is a robot, right? I mean, this might be a pointless discussion, but I think I don't know. It's just kind of it's a thought experiment. I was just interested. I was like, wait, like, we think of robots as these like the fucking Boston Dynamics dog.
Right.
Like that's what we think of when we say a robot. But like,
I think I would still.
Is my truck a robot? Is a car a robot? Teslas are robots because they can drive to you without anybody being in them.
You see, that's a robot.
So,
but I think that I'm going to go back to my original thing. Forget about this bullshit quantum robotic. Okay,
I know, but I'm saying like even my computer turning on fans, that's a physical thing.
Yeah, but that's not. I mean, okay, it's supporting the device. I'm thinking of a robot as something that is a technological device that affects things other than it on a large scale, right?
Okay.
I mean, I think that.
I know, but I think with that definition, you could apply that to a lot of different electronics we have that we wouldn't traditionally call robots.
Sure.
Like, again, back to the computer, it's making change on a huge level. It's taking Wi-Fi and sending signals and exchanging signals, and it's just, like you're saying, that's extremely like quantum and very, it's just exchange of data in a way. But like, so my truck, I have to push the gas pedal to make it go forward, but I got an automatic transmission. Is that automatic transmission a robot? It's making physical change within my transmission. Changing my gears. Is that a robot?
Yeah, I don't know.
But you see the question I'm asking? Like, there's not a hard line there.
No. It's kind of like Quinn was like, the frontier of science isn't electronics, it's physics. It's kind of like that. You know what I mean? It's like we have to set up parameters here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
if you
looked up the word robot, you'd get a pretty specific definition.
I'll tell you what, I got a computer, I got a robot in front of me right now. Let's see what it tells me.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just one of those semantic things, but it's kind of weird. Like, it's a blurred line.
Like, is it not interesting? Is that not like kind of a thought-provoking topic? Like, I know it's kind of a pointless conversation to have. It doesn't change anything, but I was curious. A robot, especially in science fiction, in parentheses, a machine resembling a human being and able to replicate certain human movements and functions automatically. That's the first definition. The second definition is computing? No, more definitions. A machine capable of carrying out a complex series of actions automatically, especially one programmable by a computer. So traffic lights are robots.
Right. So the point is that there's a lot of fucking robotics
like
that we use on a daily
exactly.
basis that
That's
we
what
don't
I'm saying.
really think about. Like our thermostat.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a robot.
Exactly. So like when you kind of use a more like it says especially in science fiction, we have this robot idea that robots are just human, personified machines that can do things. But I don't know. I heard somebody say something about robots, and I was like, and honestly, I wonder if that discussion could be a little bit more important with AI, becoming more and more prominent. Maybe we need to have a better definition for what a robot is. Is ChatGPT a robot? It's something we program by a computer that can autonomously. I can't say that fucking word. That can automatically gather information and tell us things.
Yeah, but that's not really resembling a human.
But that's not the main definition. That's the science fiction definition. The definition I'm going with is a machine capable of carrying out a complex series of actions automatically, especially one programmable by a computer.
Yeah, let's say it seems like a robot.
Right.
And it kind of like carries out something a human would, like, write a piece on, modern hip hop. You know what I'm saying? And
right.
That would be something that a human would do, that it can automatically replicate via software.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think technically that would be a robot.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
It's a thought provoking topic. So like, I mean, phones are robotic.
Right.
Somebody programs my phone. You know, I don't tell Instagram to send me notifications when something happens, or I don't tell it to send me notifications. Like, it's programmed by somebody else so that when a text comes in, it lights up my phone screen.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a robot? But using that strict definition, anything that is coded is a robot. Right?
Right. See, that's not a good definition then.
I think that's a great definition. I just think we tend to think of robots in the science fiction term from
Where
just like
it does an anatomical process that a human would do.
Exactly.
Or it does a physical process that a human would normally do.
But that's kind of my point. I think with AI becoming more and more relevant,
Right.
we need to maybe expand our definition of what a robot is.
It's not just in the physical space. It's
Right.
also in the And I think that one of the founders of ChatGPT, I forgot his name, he was talking about how there's this whole idea of the fact that we need, and I've tried to talk about this before too, but you know, there's a large, like Elon Musk's whole Neuralink thing, right? How basically what they're trying to do is combine artificial intelligence with a human interface,
right?
A brain interface. The argument that the guy that the ChatGPT, the guy that runs ChatGPT was making was that's almost not needed. He thinks that it's not really necessary. He thinks that we can harness that power and take in the information
right
without that
physical machine
actually interfacing directly with our brain. He thinks that our
because I mean, in a way, us
information,
reading it is directly interfacing it with our brain.
Like as if you were saying, like, "Hey, what exactly would I need to do right now to make millions of dollars in the stock market?"
Yeah.
Right. And he was like, you know, it could synthesize you a piece of information that you could read pretty quickly and do it.
I mean, it's
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I was making, like a while back on the podcast, I was making that argument, and I don't know whether our processing ability will be able to accommodate the amount of information that an AI technology and ChatGPT would provide to us. Like, would we even be able to process it in a way that would be beneficial?
Well, I think a lot of that processing and weeding through the information is done by the AI, and then it just feeds us the most precise that we can process at that level. But I Googled robotics. It says the goal of robotics is to design machines that can help and assist humans. So, I mean, in that case, even this mixer is a robot. It's assisting. Well, I don't know. Is it assisting me? Or am I just it's not really assisting me, I guess. It's I'm using it for what it was designed to do.
That's just more of an electric device. He was also saying, which I found really interesting, is that it's not going to come down to who has that interface, the brain to artificial or brain to computer interface. It's going to be who has access to the most advanced processing computers. Because in order to synthesize this information, this huge amount of information that ChatGPT does, you have to have a huge amount of processing power.
Right.
And as that increases, the number of computers that can actually do it is going to be like zero, right? And so you're going to have to be super wealthy to even be able to have access to the computing and processing power that would be necessary to use this super computer that can synthesize literally the entire internet.
So with that being said, you would lean more towards the idea that the AI is going to evolve quicker than our processing power can keep up with. Because, you know, our processing power is constantly getting stronger and stronger and stronger. Because me and Quinn were talking about this because he's in the market for a new computer. And he hadn't bought a computer in like a decade. And he was like, there's only like 3 basic things I want. And he started shopping around. He was like, 10 years ago, those were like high level computers. And, you'd be spending a grand or two to get like something with like a dual core processor. And now like most computers will have like a quad core processor. And like, so he started looking at the market. He was like, damn, all of my, like deal breakers in a computer, like all of the
All
things
these
that I
computers
need.
have
Like
them.
every computer has it nowadays.
Right.
And so like processing power is constantly getting stronger and stronger and stronger. So I don't know. I mean, obviously
You see what I'm saying?
there's always going to be a computer on the planet that has more processing power than any other computer on the planet.
Right.
There's always going to be one ruler, one king computer.
Exactly. And that's what he's saying scares him, is that there's going to be a very limited amount of people that have access to this at the beginning stages, right?
Yeah. Or
It's
at
not
least to
gonna-
the full extent of
Exactly.
it. Right.
Exactly. Like the most powerful version
And that's
of this
definitely
technology.
already happening, you know?
Right. And
Do you
yeah.
think, all right, this might be a little conspiratorial. Do you think the public, because you know, the public has access to ChatGPT.
Yeah,
Do you
yeah.
think we have access to everything it's capable of? Do you think there's some things they're keeping hidden from us that it can do? Or do you think we have access to the full ChatGPT?
I have no idea.
Because it's,
I think that right now they're limited because what they're trying to do is make it available to the public. So they're using the platforms that are already available,
right.
right, and the
Well-
ways that you can access it, right. So they can only put out a product that is capable of running on the processing power of your
No,
device.
so this is what I was about to say. That's not true. Because my phone's not running ChatGPT. My phone's interfacing with a server somewhere else that's using that
Right.
processing power. So
Right,
it's
right,
not
right.
limited to the processing power of your device
Okay,
in that instance.
that's interesting.
Just like a few episodes I was talking about.
Is that true?
Yeah, because like that's absolutely true.
Yeah, it's tapping into
Because
this
that
to a
processing
server.
power is not on your phone. And you're just interfacing with a server that does have that processing power. Kind of like what I was saying a few episodes back about cloud gaming. And I don't have the space on my Xbox to download this game, but I can game it. Like my Xbox is what's processing that game, but it's not storing any of that information on my Xbox.
Right.
So that's not a good analogy at all. I'm sorry, but yeah, like we're just interfacing with a computer that does have that processing power.
Right. So you're saying that it is possible for all of us to tap into that huge server and not
Right.
necessarily mean that we all need this.
We don't
this
all have to
crazy-
have that
right.
computer in our house.
Sure.
You know.
I don't know. I really don't know. I wish we could ask him.
But then again, then there's just going to be restricted access to the people who are in control of that computer. And they can tell the chatbot to tell you whatever the fuck they want you to hear. Right? So the dilemma is still the same. Even if everybody can access that server and access that information, whoever's the one person in control of that server can tell it to tell you whatever they want it to say. They'll have complete control over the information it gives you. You know, we won't have free and full access to it. Which we already know. I guess I just answered my own question. We already know that they're restricting what ChatGPT says because
Right.
it's enticed not to speak anything, not to say anything violent. It's enticed not to trash talk anybody. You know, like there's certain things that it does that can manipulate the way we perceive things. We already know that's the case. I wish I had more direct examples that weren't just stealing from other podcasts I've heard, but like the whole thing about like when Joe Rogan's talking about like, you know, if you ask it to say something good about Trump, it's not. But if you ask it to say something good about Biden, it will. It's like, you know, they're obviously controlling the information it tells us. So there's definitely a restriction. Like you can't ask ChatGPT how to commit mass murder. You know? But it definitely can give you that information.
Right. No, I see what you're saying.
Hans Kim had a funny joke on Kill Tony. He was saying it was like Googling how to kill somebody, and he was like, "Oh yeah, you can't just Google that." And he's like, "Oh wait, you can Google anything if you just add in self-defense behind it." He was like, "How to commit a mass shooting in self-defense." He's like, "Loophole."
What the fuck? That's funny. Golly. Yeah, that I really don't understand that. The whole
Quinn
like,
would know a lot better about
how that works. I need to play around with that more. Have you asked it a bunch of stuff?
you can only ask it so many things for free before you got to start paying for it. Yeah, I've used it for a few things. One of my album covers has AI art on it.
Really?
When I released Casket as a single, that was AI art that I like edited and overlaid with like a picture that I took and doctored it a little bit. But
How does
I've
it work?
talked to
what
it.
did you tell? What did you tell it to do? Like, did you say like create an image that?
Yeah, it was like an image. Well, the app that I had that was doing it, you basically just put in keywords, because there's like Chat GPT is not gonna generate an image. That's not the same thing.
Right,
It's a
right.
different AI.
Yeah.
It's a different AI that is making all this imitation music. You know, that's
Right.
not not all AIs can generate sound, pictures, and chat. You know, they're specified. So the one I had was just an image generator, and it just wanted keywords, and I put in like vacuum, cash, person, like I personified or something, and it made like a stack of cash that was like that was a vacuum, but also like a person. It was like the body of the person was a stack of cash, and he had like a vacuum on his back. Like it was weird. It was a crazy looking image. But I probably asked it like a few hundred things, and before I found a few dozen things before I landed on one that actually made sense and didn't look completely like shit.
And that's a good point. That really right now we're dealing with artificial intelligence is really just super advanced, coding and programming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's all it is. Yeah, absolutely. Well, as far as we know, there are people much smarter than us who are, maybe arguing that it's sentient, but I don't know enough to answer that. But
it seems like the guys that are closest to it think it's not.
I know, but there was that one dude who was like convinced, who was a developer.
Who was that?
I forget his name. I listened to an interview from him, but he was saying like but then again, like how you prompt it and how you ask it certain questions can prompt certain responses. So it's very finicky line there, because sometimes it's just telling you what it thinks a person would say. And it might sound like it is alive, but no, it's just mimicking what it thinks an alive person would say.
Right. And it's pulling from a database of things that's already been said.
Yeah. Like, I think one of the guys was like asking like about killing it or something like that, and the AI chat like seemed scared and didn't want to die, and like, but it's like, well, if it's just mimicking what a person would say, that's exactly what a person would say. So how do we find that separation?
Is there a technology right now that can like say you wanted an audiobook to be read, right?
Yeah.
Is there something
like a TalkBot?
Right. Is there a technology
sure.
that can read it perfectly in like
it would probably
Morgan
need
Freeman's
some editing.
voice that sounds just like he's talking?
Not flawless. Definitely not flawless.
But really
but
close.
100%.
Really
like
close.
Do you not get, you used to talk about scrolling Instagram. When I'm on YouTube and I'm looking through shorts, I constantly get advertisements where it's Joe Rogan's voice selling me some bullshit product.
Oh, I don't see that.
I've gotten so many of those, dude.
Really?
I've gotten one where it was the dude pushing a weight loss, like the fucking asshole. He's a straight up scammer. But he's like, actors, we've figured out weight loss.
God, I hate that dude.
I fucking hate that dude. He AI Drew Pinsky's voice to promote him. And
he did?
I mean, it was promoting his product. And Dr. Drew was literally saying, like, this guy knows a lot. He knows his stuff. This is good stuff. And it's like, dude, this is so fucking much. This is bullshit.
It's fake.
This is absolute bullshit. And you're just a fucking scammer. And you're not even being clean about it. You're being dirty as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
It's awful. And then he just wraps people in. He's like, you don't need to eat vegetables. He's like, you can eat pizza every day like me and look like this.
Isn't that amazing the way he does it? Because he never gives you the secret.
Yeah.
Like he always has that. You have to buy to get the secret.
Yeah.
But it's there. I'll tell you when you pay me.
What's worse?
It's so brilliant how it like, because I've seen it.
I mean, it's fucking dirty.
I want to keep watching because I want to know the secret.
I know.
But I know there is no
There's
secret.
no fucking secret. He's lying to you.
There's no secret at all.
So what's worse, a get healthy quick scheme or a get rich quick scheme? either way, they're stealing money from ignorant people or naive people. Maybe ignorant is not the best word, but
I think health because it's more important.
yeah, I guess. But I don't know. Maybe the way I'm looking at it is like a lot of people wanting to get rich quick comes from greed, I think. I mean, a lot of it comes from wanting financial freedom and stability. But I think a lot of people who want to get like rich as fuck, that comes from greed. But a lot of people who just want to get healthy, that comes from, like a better place than wanting to get rich. So, so in a way, almost I guess I'm agreeing with you, the healthy is worse because you're manipulating people who actually are trying to better themselves.
Do something good, yeah, right.
That sucks.
Man.
It's dirty.
I've listened to so many interviews with like high level athletes and
Yeah.
and they're always like it's not really a secret.
The secret's fucking discipline.
That's it.
That's it.
That's
That is
it.
the secret.
And being born into a good body. That's a big part of it.
Oh yeah, as far as just having your basic health covered and not having like a compromised immune system or having a baby arm or I don't know, whatever.
But see, that's dramatic.
Bone
but like
diseases,
like just how there's people handicapped on that end of the spectrum,
Yeah.
and like we're kind of in the middle. There's people on the other end who are supremely physically gifted and mentally gifted.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's that whole like that goes back into that whole thing. That there's no fairness.
No, there's no fair.
There's no fairness at all.
Not at all.
Like, golly, and to think that everyone is the same. That is preposterous.
Right. Definitely.
That is preposterous. How is that so pervasive? Like that thought that
Yeah. It's pretty prominent.
Everyone's created equal.
It's
What?
That's
pretty nonsense.
It's pretty prominent with trans women destroying female sports records.
How dare you?
Absolutely demolishing these women, these naturally birthed women. And I'm not saying what's right or wrong, but I think we all agree that that's fucked up. That you've had testosterone in your body for 30 fucking years.
And it depends on the sport, right?
And a lot of those sports, they don't even require you to have an operation or be on estrogen or anything. Right. It's just like, I feel like a woman today, so I'm going to go deadlift 400 pounds and destroy all of women's weightlifting records.
One of the most heinous ones was that swimmer from Penn State. I think it was Penn State.
I'm not up to all of them, but I'm sure that's happened way more than we've even heard.
Like, literally had a fully intact penis and was changing in the girls' bathroom.
Yeah.
Like in the females' locker room, and there's like multiple girls were like
what is going
on the swim team are like, we have to change in front of him.
Yeah.
And their administrators are like, yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah, you do.
I mean, I've talked,
and we need to support him.
We
need to support her. Like,
me and Quinn have discussed this a lot.
He's a 6'6" man with a dick.
Be careful.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying. But at the end of the day, me and Quinn have talked about this. At the end of the day, it sucks because the only thing I want for everybody is to be as comfortable and happy in their own skin as they can be, regardless of what you choose to do. I don't care what you choose to do. I want everyone to be as comfortable and happy as they possibly can be. But then we start protecting these people who are deliberately using this woke system to try and, gain for themselves in ways that aren't just personal development, like that sucks.
Well, I think that at that point you start infringing upon the free and equal rights of other people.
Yeah.
Like when you go into someone else's sport, right? And you're taking away their right to fairly compete.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
you're infringing upon rights. Like the whole thing is, you have rights up until the point that you start infringing on other people's rights.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
should be the whole principle.
Yeah, that is true.
And that's a blatant example of
Yeah.
that. And just because here's another thing. Just because you do have the right to do it and you're not infringing on anybody else's rights, that doesn't mean I have to celebrate the way that you choose to live your life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's one of the big things is that you have to be not only accepting but supportive and ingratiating to that way of life.
Come on, dude.
You know what I mean? When it's not reciprocal.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think I see what you're saying. But again, like I want everybody, I want any adult person to do whatever it takes for them to be as happy and comfortable in their own skin as possible. And I'm not going to judge anybody for making those decisions. But if you make that decision and then you go compete in the WNBA and you're dunking on everybody, that's fucked up.
That is so fucked.
That's fucked up. I think most people who are sane can agree on that.
But less like, I'm thinking about like.
And I don't like talking about this topic in public, so I don't.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable. But
Well,
I
it's so easy to misinterpret what we're saying as transphobic, homophobic, and it's like that's obviously not what we're fucking saying.
right.
But it's, you know, people hear it and they're like, "Oh, these guys are assholes." And it's like, no, we're just being realistic about a situation that's happening in life right now.
Right.
So I don't know. It's just certain.
And by
you
the
know,
way, I come in contact with a lot of people that have, you know, transitioned in my daily. You know, you see them in the store.
Yeah.
Or you might work with someone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like I don't care.
No, I have no issue with anybody trying to be comfortable
Right.
and be who they feel that
I
they
have
are.
No issue with
But what
it
scares
whatsoever.
me also is, you know, I'm reading the book about mimetic desire. And the more prominent this becomes, how many people, you know, there's obviously instances of people regretting their transition.
Oh yeah.
So,
Especially the actual medical act.
right. So how many of these, when it comes to mimetic desire, and you know, a lot of our desires come from what we see other people having and wanting, and now all of this culture is portraying that that's a better life if you're, you know, transition and be who you really are, but maybe the underlying cause of your anxiety and discomfort doesn't stem from that, but then you latch onto that because you see it modeled in popular culture, and then you go far enough down that path and then realize that wasn't the path you needed to go down. You know, that scares me a lot about
To the point
how,
where there's no turning back.
right, like
Especially when you're, you know, 12 years old.
Like, if anybody, yeah, kids is a whole different fucking thing. That pisses me off.
Oh,
but, like, if anybody, most of us don't even know where our desires stem from and why we want a lot of the things we want. And if these people are just, I don't know, it's just, I feel like I'm talking in circles. But it's just a hard line because obviously there are people who feel more comfortable doing that, and there's some people who are wonderful people doing amazing things across the board. No matter what, that's always going to be the case, and I want people to be happy. But like, it's just a tough line between how much are we influencing people that wouldn't have taken that path. You know?
Yeah. No, I totally agree. And I think that
it's the same thing this might be a stretch. This might not be a good analogy at all, but it's kind of similar with the fat shaming. And, you know, fat people and being morbidly obese being more and more accepted in our culture. How many people are going to go down a worse path in life because they didn't lose weight because all of popular culture is telling them they're
cool.
Big and it's big is beautiful.
Right.
And it's like, I mean, I don't know. Like,
yeah, that's not good.
It's not good at all.
It's not good for it to be okay. You know,
like I don't think anything that's that extreme should be encouraged or discouraged. I think it should be fully up to the individual.
No, yeah, you're totally right.
You know, and it seems like there's a big wave of encouragement that might be trapping people who may not have went down that path if they weren't exposed to it.
That's a good point.
But I don't know. It's just a very, you know, we're walking on fucking eggshells.
It's a similar thing with drugs too, right? Because, like, let's say that, you know, now all drugs are either legal or decriminalized.
Right.
It's kind of the same way, like, you know.
You're saying that may encourage people who wouldn't have tried them to try them,
right?
Because they're legal now,
right.
I see that. I think that's a huge argument. And it's like it should.
I
think that's a valid argument.
It shouldn't be, and I think you hit it on the head. It shouldn't be encouraged,
right?
Or heavily discouraged,
right?
But you know what I mean. But you have to have the right to do what you will.
It just needs to be an educated choice,
right?
And so many people just get trapped by desires that they don't necessarily know where they're coming from.
Exactly. And if it's not truly like if you're not hearing all the facts about maybe like a surgery that you're thinking about,
right?
You're only hearing gender affirming comments about that, and you're not hearing any like, here's
Not
the side
hearing-
effects.
yeah, the
like we're going to give
legitimate-
you a full hysterectomy and we're going to cut off your breast. Like here's what could possibly happen to your
Right.
body, right?
Right.
You know, like if you're not
Yeah.
hearing those things too, and you're only hearing the positives,
You need to be
about-
fully
you
educated
gotta
on
be-
both sides of the
exactly.
topic.
You can't be
Especially when it comes to something that extreme.
right.
And I don't mean extreme, good or bad. Again, that's a word that can be misinterpreted. But I mean extreme, like it's a fucking
You have
intense process.
You have to be objective, and you can't be delusional about
Right.
about things.
And again, at the end of the day, I encourage anybody to do whatever it takes for them to be as comfortable and happy in their own skin. I pray that everyone is doing it upon their own desires and they're educated
mindfully,
about
too.
it and mindfully.
Because you can't just
Yeah.
Oh, that's a rough one, dude.
Like-
And I feel for a lot of there's a lot of those people out there that have gone through some extreme treatment and extreme
and-
surgeries that they can't go. You can't go back.
Right.
And this is kind of a similar thing. Like once you get to 400 pounds, it's really fucking
Really
hard to go back.
Yeah. It's a lot easier to maintain.
And once you're fucking addicted to heroin, it's really fucking hard to go back.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of one of those things, an extreme thing, right? That you're, just like somebody who eats to 400 pounds to, keep themselves sane.
Right.
Or someone who fucking got a spoon and a needle to keep themselves sane.
Right.
Like, it's almost the same sort of
Or a
thing.
fucking doctor told him to do it.
Right.
God, that
You
sucks.
see
We
what I'm
literally
saying, though?
prescribe heroin to people.
It's a very similar thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's similar. Like,
And I mean, the human mind is so fragile, and it's so easy to be brainwashed and be gullible. And again, I'm not saying, I feel like I'm have to repeat this constantly, but I'm not saying that it's good or bad, or I'm against it or for it. I want anybody to do whatever they want to do, but you need to think about why you want to do some of the things you want to do and really take a step back. And again, if that is truly what makes you feel better, then I encourage you to do that. Absolutely.
I'm not encouraging anybody to do shit.
Well, I'm encouraging people to do what makes them the most comfortable. That's what I'm saying.
I don't even know if I agree with that.
Well, that doesn't harm others. How about that?
But I mean, sometimes the stuff that I don't want to do the most,
Yeah.
the most uncomfortable stuff, is the stuff that I need to fucking do.
But again,
it's not about being comfortable. It's not about being happy.
But you do the uncomfortable things for future comfort. Most of the time, we suffer through uncomfortable things in order to have more comfortable things in the
Right.
future.
Sure, I agree.
And obviously, to go on your side, like somebody might say, well, I'm not comfortable if I only eat 2,000 calories a day. So I'm eating enough because that makes me comfortable. But what you're not realizing is you're making your entire life a lot less comfortable than you would be if you were a healthy person. So that's, I mean, like the most altruistic, I don't know if I'm using that word right, way of comfort. Like healthy comfort, not false comfort, not I drink myself to sleep every night because I can't handle my anxiety comfort. That's not comfort. That's a mask. Maybe that's where we're having a disagreement, because I mean like healthy comfort and stability.
Right.
And I would encourage anybody to do what it takes for them to be the most comfortable. And I understand, that word might not be the most apt word to use in that instance, but yeah, I mean, I hate to see anybody feeling uncomfortable within their own skin.
Yeah,
that's
that's
a terrible thing. It's an absolutely terrible thing. And it's just scary because some of the paths we can take that, as you're saying, some of the things we do to make ourselves feel more comfortable in the long run are going to make us less comfortable.
Right. Well, and I feel like so much of it is because we've built this world that our body doesn't really agree with.
Yeah, that I'm sure. Yeah, that's because
we've built this civilization in the name of comfort, right? And like we don't even fucking like it. You know what I mean?
That's
like,
a very interesting point.
You think
Yeah.
back to like, when the men were, what do we need to do today? We need to make repairs to our house.
Yeah.
We need to
hunt.
check and see if there's any fruit ready to pick.
Right.
We need to go see if there's any animals we can kill.
Right.
We need to go find some fish.
Attend to the farm.
That
do whatever.
is literally the best day I can fucking think of.
Right. Yeah.
But now,
I wonder how much
does
of
that make sense?
Absolutely. I wonder how much of that has to do with the lack of distractions. So you're always in the present in a way. I'm sure it's a combination of the both. You're more in the present and you're also getting more physical exercise. And the combination of those two things has to give you more happiness, I would imagine. If you're always in the present and you getting plenty of good exercise, as long as you're eating, like I would imagine that breeds happiness. I don't know. But happiness is so subjective, and people can lie to themselves about what makes them happy. That happens all the time. People lie. They misunderstand what makes themselves happy. They lie about what makes, people stay in terrible abusive relationships because they're lying to themselves about it making them happy. And that's just one example. Like, overeating. You say that that's making you happy, but in the long run, that's not. You're going to have a worse life because of it in most examples. So I don't know, man. That's a fucking tough conversation. But yeah, I mean, I want everybody to be happy.
I wonder what because in America we strive for happiness, right? That's kind of what we strive for.
You got it. This is gonna be annoying.
You know what I'm saying?
Sorry about that.
We kind of strive for happiness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I wonder what other countries, I wonder what the Chinese people, I wonder what they strive for. I wonder if they strive for the same things we do.
I don't know. That's another topic that's tough to talk about in public, but I think they strive for intelligence or subordinacy. It's also what is...
I mean a normal person.
Yeah, well, yeah, like what does the ruling class strive for and what is the regular people? What does the citizenship strive for? Because that could be two completely different things. Because I think a lot of people strive for control, but then the general public typically would strive for happiness. Like,
I'm trying to think what I strive for.
I strive for happiness. I think I strive to be creative. I strive for security and stability. But at the end of the day, I guess I want stability and security, and I want to be creative because those things bring me comfort and joy. Right? I'm not, I don't know. It's such a philosophical thing, like concept. Like, what do we live for? That's a hell of a question. But I think at the end of the day, it has to be happiness, right? That's what we're all striving for. We all try to find our happiness through different means. But at the end of the day, I think a lot of us strive for happiness.
For self-preservation. I think that's almost, and like the preservation of our species. I think that's really what our ultimate strive for is.
Well, you're saying as a species.
Even as an individual, like
self-preservation's a big one, definitely a big one. But what's the point of living a long life if you're suffering through it?
That's a good point.
If you're miserable every day, you fucking kill yourself, and that sucks. But those people don't strive for self-preservation because they don't have happiness.
That's true.
I don't think there is an answer. It's just it's a discussion. It's not an answer.
Right.
And again, it's individual per individual. But I think at the end of the day, we all strive for happiness and self-preservation. I think those are two can definitely like at the top, at the peak. But again, if you don't have happiness, you usually don't care that much about self-preservation. And if you don't care about self-preservation, I don't know. That's not a vice versa. I was going to say you don't care about happiness, but that's not true. But there's plenty of people who strive to do things that they think that, like, what about skydivers? They're definitely putting happiness over self-preservation, right? Wouldn't you think?
Yeah.
Right? They're like, I don't care if I go out. I'll die doing what I love. There's a lot of people who think that way.
Oh, for sure.
If I die doing what I love, who gives a fuck?
Right. So it goes back to those reward systems.
And then a lot of people
You
will
know what I
also
mean?
say, if I've lived my life up to this point exactly how I want it, and I've taken the time to be grateful, and I'm happy right now, a lot of people are like, I'm at peace if I died tomorrow. So I think happiness outranks self-preservation.
I think you're right.
Man, that's an interesting little thinker. We can end on that. We're right at an hour. We can try to do another 20 minutes for next week's episode if we aren't, so that we'll have something to drop in case we can't get back together this week. Are you leaving Friday?
Saturday.
I could come like Friday afternoon. I mean, I'm only working Monday and Tuesday right now, so I can come down any day.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, but let's definitely at least get 20 more minutes down, just in case.
All right.
All right. Thank you guys for listening. Sorry about the slightly shorter episode. I mean, we did an hour on this one, so it's not slightly shorter. But appreciate you guys listening. Hopefully nothing was too controversial. I hope we're good at, I hope we're good at explaining how we feel. Because I know it's so easy to start explaining.
I fail all the time. And
I know.
I realize it because people are like responding to what I'm saying, like, "Oh, you don't get it.
Yeah,
you
have
don't
no
get
clue what I actually meant. With
Yeah,
that.
it's so hard to do.
So yeah, I hope that we came across as honest and genuine and loving and caring, because that's, at the end of the day, I said that like 7 times explaining that. That's all I care about more than anything else, is that people are happy. Do whatever you want to do that doesn't hurt others. Is if it makes you happy, cool. Whatever. I don't
think you have to defend anything you said.
I hope not.
No, you
but
don't.
in today's world, you kind of have to defend every fucking thing you say.
No, you
but
don't.
anyway, love you guys. Love it. I say it all the time that I hate people. People are wonderful. I love you guys.
We do it. It's all for the people. It's all about the people.
No, it's for my own happiness. See you next week.